Hi, good morning to everyone. In this session, we have to discuss about importance of water, sources of water, impurities present in water, and hardness. These are the things to be discussed. We have to see one by one. First one is importance of water. We know that water is very important for all living beings in this earth. Without water, no one can live. So, water is one of the wonderful material, that means compound that ever existing from the nature. So, we should not misuse this water. We have to save this water. We should not waste this water. So, water is essential for all living beings. So, it cleans our body. That waste materials from our body has been excreted by water only. Without water, that material cannot be excreted. So, water cleans our body. The minerals present in this water, that means potassium, sodium, are very important for our life, because these potassium and sodium can act as electrolytes in our body. So it gives energy to our body, it gives energy to cell. So water is very important. Then water keeps our body temperature at right level. That means that body temperature should be maintained at constant level. If the temperature becomes more or high, automatically that sweating process will be started, and the temperature starts to drop to the right level. So for that, water is very important. So water is important for all resources of our health. So next one is distribution of water in our human body. So that the blood is having 90.7% of water, the muscle contains 75.6%, and the kidney and the bone are having 82.7 and 13% respectively, and 80.5% of our brain is having water. So water, without water we cannot live. So water is very important. So 80% of our earth's surface is occupied by the water. Less than 1% is ready to use as a fresh water. So distribution is given here. So first 97% of water is present in that ocean. That means saline water, salt water. So remaining 3% may be a fresh water. So further this 3% is now distributed as a fresh water. That means ice cubes and glaciers is having a 68.7% of fresh water. That means this 3% is now distributed. Within this 3%, that 68.7% of fresh water is present in ice caps and glaciers. 30.1% is presented as a groundwater. So remaining 0.9% is present as surface water. That means that water is presented at a surface. So this surface water is having only 0.3%. It is further distributed into lakes, swamps and rivers. So this is the distribution of water in the earth. So that fresh water is very less amount. So we have to save water. Next, impurities. So the surface water are rain, river, lake and sea water. These water is called as a surface water because these water is available on the surface of the earth. So that rainwater may contain gases. That means that rainwater is pure actually, but sometimes it may be contaminated with the gases. So next one, river water. It is containing highly dissolved salts, and it is contaminated with a moderate amount of organic materials. That means plant material or animal material. Next one, lake water. It is having constant composition of salt content, but that organic materials are very high. Next is sea water. It is having high salinity, and it may having pathogens and organics. These all things are from surface water. Next one is underground water. So underground water is further divided into well water. This well water is crystal clear, but highly dissolved salts and impurities are there. But organic impurity is very less only. So next, physical impurities. Dissolved salts are solids. Chemical impurities, inorganic or organic chemicals. Biological impurities may be pathogens, algae, fungi, virus. So these impurities show some activities on that earth. So because of this physical impurity, that color of water may be different. It may be turbid. The taste of that water may be salty taste. Sometimes it may give odourness. So electrical or thermal conductivity of that water is high because of the dissolved salts. Next one is chemical impurities. It may give impact on acidity. Sometimes that acidity of water may be, as a pH of water may be acid, and it may contains carbon dioxide, oxygen, NH3 gases. Because of the dissolved inorganic salts, that salinity will become more high. Sometimes that pH may be increased. That means that water may be alkaline in nature. That's presence of calcium and magnesium salts increases the hardness of that water. So biological impurities may be microorganisms or water bodies. So this is the organic impurities present in that water. So next one is dissolved impurities. That means salts of sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium and aluminum ion, traces of their chloride, sulfates are the dissolved impurities. All of these inorganic salts are highly soluble in water, so it may be presented as a dissolved impurities in water. That water is not useful for domestic purpose or industrial purpose. Next, dissolved gases. Gases like carbon dioxide, ammonia, H2S are some of the dissolved gases present in that water. Next, suspended impurities. Clay particles and sand particles may be a suspended impurities. Microbial impurities may be a biological matter of plant and animal origin. Decomposed level of these materials makes that biological impurities into water. Next, surface water are normally used for industrial domestic purpose. We know that because saline water needs some treatment to be used in industry or domestic, that is high cost. So we are not using that saline water, but we are using surface and groundwater easily, because that water should be free from salts content. That's why we are using surface water for industry as well as domestic purpose. So all undesired impurities must be removed from this water before the treatment and before the use of industrial and domestic purpose. So that process is called as a water treatment or a water technology. That means the process of removal of all inorganic or organic materials from the water, thereby that water can be used for industrial and domestic purpose. This is called as water technology or a water treatment. Next, types of water. So based on the formation of leather, we can divide that water into soft water or hot water. Soft water means that soft water is free from calcium, magnesium salts, and it will form lather with soap solution. That water is called as soft water. That means soft water means the water which produces lather with soap. That water is called as a soft water. So, but if it is not giving lather with soap, then that water is called as hard water because of the following reaction. So that sodium stearate is the chemical formula for soap. If that water is having calcium ions, then that sodium is replaced by calcium and calcium stearate will be formed. So that instead of this sodium, that calcium will be placed there. Calcium stearate will be formed. Because of the formation of calcium stearate, that lather will not be produced. So that's why this water is called as hard water. So that hardness is due to presence of chlorides and sulfates and bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium. The 6 salts causes hardness to the water. Next, differences between hard water and soft water. Hard water is having a high mineral content. That means calcium and sulfates and carbonates of both calcium, magnesium and calcium. But soft water is having very less mineral content. So magnesium and calcium ions are more in hard water, but that is not there in soft water. Instead of that, sodium ions are there. So the taste of hard water is sometimes a salty taste or a characteristic taste, some different characteristic taste, but soft water is always salty. So this hard water is produced when that water is flowing through the limestone and chalk. The soft water is produced when that water is treated with some other ion exchange resin treatment. So soap as having a less effect in film, a film is formed rather than foam. That means that hard water will not produce foam with soap, but soft water will produce lather or a foam. That is the important thing. So in summary, we have up to now we have discussed about that importance of water. That is, water is very important. We have to save water. And next, impurities present in that water. So impurities may be dissolved salts, inorganic, physical, as well as biological matters. So we divided that and we explained that also. Finally, hardness. So water which produces lather with soap, that is called as a soft water, which does not produce any lather, that is called as a hard water. So after that, this session will be end. We will see in next session.